This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Kia ora, good evening. Welcome to the South Today. I'm Craig Story. The northern Southland town of Lumsden is described by locals as its most vibrant and alive for the first time in 30 years. The surge in tourism is bringing freedom campers into the area. Locals say businesses are profiting and the town is buzzing. Mina Amso has the story.
Lumsden's local and tourism liaison officer Wallace Drummond isn't a smartphone techie kind of guy, but he's thankful for smartphones because the majority of freedom campers come to Lumsden via a smartphone app called Campermate.
It's the only way to find Lumsden, and they hear good reports. It's got the highest rating of any campsite in New Zealand, they tell me, five-star rating.
And the numbers have doubled over the past 2 seasons.
The town, I haven't seen it so vibrant since the 1970s when the Kingston Flyer was stationed here, and you also had the old railways buses always coming and going.
Drummond agrees, and he sees businesses like Foursquare are thriving.
And there's people walking in and out where I've been at meetings here, and within the engineer said to me the next day, 17 young ladies walked out of there with bags in about 10 minutes. Over to the campsite.
The Community Development Group chairman and cafe owner Rob Scott says the town has been through a lot of ups and downs.
In the time that I've lived in the town, it's sort of gone through. When we moved here, it was really busy, humming, vibrant town, and then it had a decline and all the shops shut in the main street. And it basically looked like a ghost town for a while there, and it's started to come back up now, and it's probably the most alive I've seen it in a long time, and the freedom campers definitely help.
It encourages people to stop when they are passing through.
Sort of walking through there and seeing what used to be just an empty space now full of people, and they all sit on the platform and they play cards and they have guitars out, and it's really nice.
Lumsden has had some not so positive press in recent times, in one report describing it as desperate and cheap. Drummond is calling for the government to support and invest in Lumsden, funding basic infrastructure to keep up with the tourism boom. Mina Amso, The South Today.
Yeah, Lumsden's cool. Police in the Lower South Island are seeking Tony Ashley Gorrie, who failed to appear for court in Napier, but he has strong ties to the south. Have you seen this man? Southern Police want to speak to Tony Ashley Gorrie in relation to a number of matters and want to hear from anyone who's seen him or knows where he is. The 47-year-old has a history of violence, including assaults on police and escaping custody. Police say he shouldn't be approached. Gorrie also has a warrant for arrest for failing to appear in the Napier District Court also. He is known to frequent backpacker and motel accommodation, but his current whereabouts are unknown. Police say if you see him or know of his whereabouts, please call the police 111 immediately. Oamaru's historic Harbour Street is getting a World War I style makeover this week. The location will be used for filming an installation dedicated to the Anzacs to be displayed at the Sir John Monash Media Centre in France. A public notice in the Oamaru Mail last Friday noted that Harbour Street businesses would remain open, and it did say that there will be several battle scenes to be filmed during that time in the general area. If you're out and about, please don't rubberneck. Film crews do work hard. Farm sales remain strong in Southland and Otago, with 25 more farms sold in the past 3 months than this time last year. Real Estate Institute of New Zealand data shows that there were 47 farm sales in Otago for the first 3 months ending February 2017, 17 more than last year. In Southland, there were 38 farm sales for the same period, 8 more than the same corresponding period last year. REINZ information shows an increase in the region of inquiries for sheep and beef properties. The same holds for Otago, but with tougher market values, where values exceed $5 million. Still to come on the South Today, Roselle LeBone, hard-working reporter Roselle, caught up with someone whose day job is warm and fuzzy. Also, fertiliser in South Africa don't mix well, and a tail-wagging fluffy animal story that'll make you smile.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now, they will love you forever. From rare to the recent, visit the legendary Hard to Find for your quality second-hand books. With the largest stock in New Zealand and a friendly book-loving atmosphere. For good prices, buying or selling, come visit 20 Dowling Street.
It's on again. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale starts noon, 9th of June. Don't miss out.
Grandad loved his family and surfing, in that order. He taught me to surf, and we spent a lot of time in the water together over the years. When he died, I strapped the camera to the nose of his old board and filmed the paddle out at St Clair. Gillian's played the video on the big screen at his funeral. Grandad would have loved having everyone come out one last surf with him.
Gillian's Funeral Services, helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones for generations. Gillians.co.nz.
Hi, I'm Dennis Charlotte, and road racing motorcycles is my lifetime passion. It's a massive adrenaline rush, but the high-speed crashes have been tough on the body over the years. I almost feel as old as my mate Ian.
Sportsval, supporting tendons, ligaments and cartilage. And Energy Plus helps replace the energy that everyday living takes away.
Now I feel more alive and have more sustained energy to really enjoy my racing.
Buy 2 packs of Sportsval and get 2 packs of Energy Plus absolutely free. So call now, 0800 502 402.
We're a 25 Moray Place at Dog with Tails Cafe and Bar. So we take coffee very seriously. We do what's called contract roasting, so we're creating our own roasting profile and then doing our own blends. We're really focusing on the craft of what we're doing. You know, we're going back, instead of going on mass-produced sort of cheap things, we're taking the time to really craft what we're making. Make it so anyone can come here and have a feed and be able to get something they're able to eat or that they want to eat as well. You're kind of getting a taste of cafes from all around the world when you come here.
Put your seatbelts on for this one and rev it up. Thursday night is Motorsport Night. Proudly brought to you by multi-award-winning Garrador.
Thank you for staying with The South today. You'll probably notice that winter is approaching and one Dunedin woman is on a mission to get warm clothing, bedding and other winter accessories out to those in need. The hard-working Roselle LeBone caught up with Morgan Boyd as she keeps Dunedin cosy from Abbotsford.
It's a tough job keeping an entire city warm, but someone's got to do it. Morgan Boyd works full-time but still finds the hours to collect firewood, clothing and other essentials for surviving a Dunedin winter, not usually available to those in need. She started the initiative when she realised the need in the city, and so far Dunedin is showing warm appreciation.
I put a post out on my page asking people to donate if they have anything that they can. Put the sizes up, female, male, and then people start donating, and I collect it and drop it off to who I've collected it for.
Boyd also works with the Ministry of Health to educate people on simple and cheap ways to keep warm in winter, including opening curtains during the day but closing them at night.
I've had offers of money to be put into bank accounts for people, you know, to buy things. I can't accept money at all. I'm not a registered charity and I don't want that responsibility. I'm basically pick it up and divert it to where it needs to go.
Boyd says tenants often don't know they may qualify to have their homes insulated for free. Other tips include opening windows to ventilate the home for at least a few minutes a day and stopping cold air getting in by stopping drafts around doors, windows and old unused fireplaces. For those with families with limited room, Boyd suggests creating as much space as possible between the heads of sleeping children if they are bed sharing, and top and tailing can also be a good option. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
The CEO of New Zealand fertiliser company Balance Agri-Nutrients says that from now on they're going to have to avoid shipping their raw materials from South Africa by South Africa on their long way home. This follows after a shipment of phosphate was seized on its way from Moroccan-occupied the Western Sahara on claims that the rocks were illegally sourced. Balance CEO says that the company has done everything by the book.
A New Zealand company's in international trouble after a shipment of 50,000 tonnes of phosphate was stopped on its way to the country late last week. Balance Agri-Nutrients plants in Awarua Southland, Taranaki and Tauranga turn raw materials into farm-grade fertiliser. The rocks seized on Thursday New Zealand time were sourced from Morocco and Western Sahara. A South African court order in Port Elizabeth impounded the vessel NM Blossom on the grounds that its shipment was illegally obtained. Balance Agri-Nutrients CEO Mark Wynne says the company has done nothing wrong, and had the shipment gone through the Panama Canal as usual, nothing would have happened.
Well, this is a very long-standing political and geopolitical issue. It goes back potentially hundreds of years when Bedouins were in the area, but more recently in the 70s when the Spanish pulled out of Morocco and there was a dispute between a number of countries as to who owns this particular region. It's very complex, it's tied up at many different levels. There have been wars over the region, and today we have United Nations on the ground trying to find an enduring solution between the two parties, which is primarily Morocco and Algeria.
Federated Farmers Southland Provincial President Alan Beard says farmers are concerned about what's going on, from both a practical standpoint of how this delay will affect the availability of fertiliser for crops and from an ethical perspective.
To a large extent, farmers think that our co-ops are doing the right, that they are sourcing from countries around the world who have good human rights records.
Around 70% of the world's phosphate comes from Morocco, and Balance Agri-Nutrients has been sourcing the mineral from Western Sahara for over 20 years. Mark Wynne doesn't see this changing, however there are other areas that can be sourced for phosphate in the short term. He says he has first-hand knowledge of the conditions in Western Sahara and believes the company has nothing to worry about.
Most of our vessels tend to go through the Panama Canal and come across to New Zealand that way. This vessel chose to go down the west coast of Africa, pull into South Africa for fuel before coming across to New Zealand. In this particular case, South Africa is one of the few countries that disagrees with Morocco and has recognised the Western Sahara region as a country in its own right. So we won't be going to refuel our vessels in South Africa.
The vessel will remain in South Africa for a number of weeks. I'm Ruby Spink for The South Today.
The Ministry of Social Development is loaning a Waitati pensioner some money for her companion dog's healthcare costs. Kate Morrison says it came about after a change of heart from the ministry at the highest level.
Could this be the tail wagging the dog? A ministerial U-turn will see Kate Morrison being loaned money by Work and Income for her dog Golly's medical expenses. Morrison says that wasn't the only pleasant surprise she's received.
The amazing thing that happened was that in the end she got a bit cross with me, my case manager, and rang the vet herself and then said, "Really, I didn't know that." And I'm thinking, what on earth have I done? And she said, "I think the woman wants to speak to you," and handed me the phone. And they said they'd been having phone calls all week with people wanting to put money into my account. And I was just absolutely blown away. It was just, I mean, it was only Golly and me, and that was just amazing. I don't know how much that is. I haven't asked. I just was completely blown away.
Kate Morrison contacted the ODT last month after Seniors Minister Maggie Barry declined her request for a Ministry of Social Development loan. Minister Barry had a change of heart after the ODT called and asked ministry staff to talk to Miss Morrison about making assistance available through the social security system. The money is to pay for 7-year-old Golly's medication to treat his osteochondritis decisions, a disease of the cartilage affecting his leg joints. Morrison says it's not just a win for her and Golly.
The deal is that for 3 months I'm to present every vet bill to WINS, and they will cover those up to $600 for the whole 3 weeks. It's 3 months. At the end of the 3 months, well, if he's not better, it's worth a try. But it's not just for Golly and me, it was for everybody like me, because I know how much it hurts.
Unbeknownst to her, people have been donating to her account at VetLife Waikoiti for Golly's treatment. She says her motivation for talking to the ODT wasn't to raise money, but to show other pensioners that loans can be available to them. A ministry spokesperson says a person's entitlement to financial assistance is made on a case-by-case basis, taking into consideration their individual circumstances. Daryl Baser, The South Today.
After the break on The South Today, we meet a woman with more than a century of stories, of course the ODT, and the good news coming in the weather forecast.
University of Otago. Usually the atmosphere is charged with the energy of student life. But this week is the week before exams.
Hey, Tane. Not now, man. I'm panicking. Come on, mate. I know just what you need. In here? No. Is this it? No. This is the place to ease your stress.
Hey, Tane. Fancy a little cuddle?
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. Call now on 473 8252. Please adopt a pet now. They will love you forever.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality, stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoura Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
Loss of collagen is the reason for those fine lines and wrinkles. Silberhorn's Collagen Plus naturally supports your collagen levels, giving you younger, firmer looking skin, healthier, shinier hair and stronger nails. Joints, tendons, ligaments and cartilage all benefit from healthy collagen levels, the very foundation of structural health. Support collagen levels naturally with Collagen Plus by Silberhorn. Be quick, buy one now and get a second pack half price. Call now 0800 502 402.
Active Furnishers Limited, home of quality service with superior product and an in-house design team who are always happy to advise and create an imaginative solution for you. Active Furnishers Limited, part of Dunedin's design history.
It's on again. The Star Regent 24-hour book sale starts noon, 9th of June. Don't miss out.
Autumn is here. Too late to sow grassy, but never fear. Ready Lawn is here. Ready Lawn, your perfect all year round solution. Call Ready Lawn today.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Emu oil has been used for centuries to support joint mobility and tired muscles. Also helpful for supporting healthy skin. Available as oil or in capsules. Go to www.silberhorn.co.nz to order Emu oil today.
As a person who's had a tragedy, to a family, to an individual, but in fact this is an operation, and the operation is there to remove a heart or set of lungs, to do the process appropriately, check that the organs are working and achieve a technically skillful procedure.
Mondays at 8 p.m. features a series of hour-long documentaries by local filmmaker and medical doctor Paul Trotman. This week, The Waiting List, Organ Donation in New Zealand, 8 p.m. Monday, only on Channel 39.
Thank you for staying with the South today. She is the oldest woman in New Zealand and she came from the steepest street in the world. Madeline Anderson of Upper Hutt turned 110 last week. She was born in Dunedin's Baldwin Street in 1907. Roselle LeBone asked Anderson about her childhood memories of the city.
It's now a mecca for curious tourists. But in the early 20th century, Dunedin's steepest street was the birthplace of the oldest living woman in New Zealand. I'm Roselle LeBone here at Dunedin's Baldwin Street, where about 110 years ago, in a house just like this one, New Zealand's oldest lady, Madeline Anderson, was born. And Madeline Anderson was so keen to be born back in the early 1900s, she never quite made it to the hospital. She says she and her sisters were all literally born in Baldwin Street.
Myself and my 3 sisters were all born at home. A midwife came.
A prevailing childhood memory was the day she got her jaw broken on her way to school.
We used to be driven to school in horse and gig, you see, and the horse stumbled. Wheel must have gone over my face for it to be in such a mess, because my beautiful front tooth was hanging on by a bit of skin.
She has just celebrated her 110th year on the 4th of May with a big family lunch and going to church.
A big part of it, life. Now I go to church and most of my friends come from the church. The lunch was super. Yes, we catered for everybody. Fairly big affair there. About 100 people there, I think. I'm perfectly happy here.
Madeline still lives in her own home, looks after herself, sees her friends and has a bowl of porridge with dates every day for breakfast to keep young. Roselle LeBone, The South Today.
Now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The northern Southland town of Lumsden has been described by locals as vibrant and alive for the first time in 30 years. Oamaru's historic Harbour Street is getting a World War I style makeover this week for a movie being filmed in the town. And pupils from St Leonard's School in Dunedin visited... Oh, look, we'll come to that story later on. But it's time now to talk with our old friend Phil from the Otago Daily Times. How are you, Phil?
Yeah, very good, very good. Plenty of news stories today. Mention the story about the Australian customs destroying the New Zealand lichen that were being sent over there to compare with their lichen because they asked for them, and the Border Patrol people destroyed the lichen and now have apologised. Those lichens were from Central Otago collection from the 1930s.
Oh,
so
gosh.
There's some red faces there.
Yeah, it's a bit silly.
We've got a very good video and a picture and a story in the paper about dumping of furniture in Vogel Street. So the CCTV cameras there proved useful about someone doing that. That's an intriguing story.
You can't do anything
in a scary sometimes.
In a very highly monitored society. I read in Time magazine that a North American is likely to be in the centre, in any major metro centre, on camera 55 times a day. And somewhere, and I believe in New Zealand, the number is getting close to a dozen to 2 dozen times a day.
Plus everyone else, everyone with their video, cell phone cameras and so on. It's all spreading. The police reporter. They say that a couple of young brothers they've caught were responsible for a bit of a mini crime spree in the city. So we hope that's still to go before the youth court and so on. But we hope that's the end of a run of thefts from cars and all sorts of things.
I hope that's dealt with sharply.
Yeah. To the fresh pages, there's 3 of them and lots and lots of recipes. Chef Garden with Bevan Smith from he's been in Morocco recently, but he's got some autumn recipes, soups and various things. Alison Lambert's got a apple and beetroot salad. Beetroot's a really in thing at the moment. Very nice, isn't it? And Ask a Chef is a cocoa orange fig balls. The Ask a Chef, where readers write into the paper and say, I went to this restaurant and I love this thing, and can you get the recipe? And we write to the restaurant and they bring it back and we publish that in the paper.
I felt I'm salivating. That just sounds delicious.
Editorial tomorrow's about saving care. and their numbers been dropping quite steadily in the last few years, and it's a real worry. And I had a look at the sports list for tomorrow, and our sports editor Stephen Hepburn's written a story about the rugby players going to South Africa these days are much less tired than they used to be, and the techniques they use, including they wear a mask most of the way over on the plane, and it's called a humidifier. So apparently it keeps the moisture up, and dehydration is one of the issues on long flights. So there you go.
Plenty to read in the ODT, and we won't be having you back in the chair for another couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's right.
Off on your holidays.
Yes,
enjoy your time, Phil.
Thank you.
See you again soon. All right, prepare yourself. Here comes tomorrow's weather.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Silverhorn Collagen Plus.
Starting with today's southern view, the beautiful lake shore of Lake Wakatipu in Queenstown. It looks such an attractive place, and that's a cheeky weather shot out the newsroom window to the ASB building across the way. Looking at the situation, a stable weather map. A few changes, they will occur later in the week. Thursday brings colder southwesterlies to the south. Better get your washing done now. All across the south, it is from Balclutha down to Gore, inland to beautiful Lumsden. Vibrant and alive Lumsden, light northerlies, a little bit of high cloud and temperatures in the mid-teens, no matter where you go. It's quite nice. To the central outlook, again with the light northerlies, a little bit of high cloud and 14. Temperatures again pinned to the mid-teens. Te Anau, northerlies, you might get a few showers in there. Off to Oamaru, again light northerlies, fine conditions, temperatures between 15 and 13 in Omarama, actually quite pleasant, and Oamaru, very nice. Stay out of the way of the film crew, please. And here in Dunedin tonight, fine and interesting. Dunedin always is, light northerlies and 7 tonight. Wednesday, well, sun and a little bit of high cloud, northerlies, the numbers are 7 and 14. Thursday, rain in the morning. Colder southwesterlies freshening, a distinct change, a clearing afternoon though, 7 and 12. For Invercargill tonight, high cloud and good vibes, 6 degrees. Wednesday, mostly fine, sunny and high cloud conditions for you, 7 and 15. And Thursday, showers, a little bit cloudy. Please get your washing done if you can. Cold southwesters, your lotto numbers are 7 and 13. And there we go, that's the start of my week with you. It's always a pleasure. I'm Craig Story, this is The South Today. Good night.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.